Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you're having a great day. I almost said a miserable day, which would tie in with what we're going to talk about today. I don't know how many of you are ready to get over this COVID situation and return to a normal life, but I know I am more than ready. I am tired of being stuck at home. I'm tired of always having to worry if I have a paycheck. I'm tired of wondering if I will have a job to return to. I am just beat, and I know most of you are too. However, you may be saying to yourself, well, you don't really sound like it. I am tired of it all, and I will be grateful to God when He moves us past it. But until then, I'm going to take every opportunity that this COVID mess has created, and I'm going to grow in the Lord with it. So, having said that, let's talk about that. This morning we're going to look at Romans 5, chapter 5, verses 3 through 5. And it talks about how we can use what's happening now in the world, you know, how crazy it is, to our benefit. And to not only survive it, but to thrive in it, to grow through this experience. So let's read it real quick. Romans 5, verses 3 through 5 says, "More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." So, man, that's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one to find joy in moments like this or in crises like this. It's hard to do. It kind of goes against our nature because normally we're more the negative type of people. We just don't want to face this sort of stuff. So what does the Bible say about it? Let's break down this passage and talk about that. The first thing it says is, more than that, we rejoice in our suffering. Okay? Rejoice in our suffering. Why in the world would we do that? Here's a trick. I encourage you, I implore you to ask God for more trials, more tests, more problems like this. Now, why would I do that? You go, there's enough of them that I'm already facing. But that's a true test of your faith. If you ever ask God for a trial or a test, that's a true test of your faith, because that shows that you're willing to grow through it. So that's something you can think about and do when you're ready as far as spiritually mature goes. If you're spiritually mature enough to handle it, then fine. If not, just focus on the ones we're going through now. So getting back to it, it says, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame. So, three things that we can take a look at from that verse. Suffering produces endurance. That's the great thing about it. My wife Carmen and I have been going through some battles as far as, getting my unemployment right, money, whether we'll have any income whatsoever coming in. But the one thing we've done is we have been through so many of these trials before that we're in it for the long haul. And this morning, sure as anything, little things started falling into place to where if we would have worried about it all day and night, we would have worried in vain, because God is arranging things and it's starting to come together. But the key to it is we've been through so many trials before that we now have the endurance to know that even though this is probably the roughest spot we've ever been in our lives, we have the endurance because of past trials to know that this too shall pass. And then it says endurance produces character. Part of being a good Christian is your character. And what I mean by that is there's different types of character, but one of them is being able to show people the character of patience and joy and faith during any circumstance, even the COVID. Because a lot of people right now, and sadly, a lot of Christians are throwing up their arms and they're angry about everything. They blame the politicians. They blame this. They blame that. They blame this, and they blame that. That's not a good character trait for a Christian to have, because the world looks at us. When we show joy and we show faith in Jesus Christ, and that's a character they need to be seen. So during these difficult times, if you're struggling with anger, feeling like you've been denied, feeling like you're alone, don't let that out. Don't let people see that. Pray to God for you to be released from that bondage. Because people, if they see that, they're not going to have any faith in God either. So that kind of spreads like the flu. So make sure that your character is strong. And that's what each trial is going to do. It's going to make you stronger to the point to where when things do happen like this, you're able to just sit there and kind of blow it off and have the endurance that we just talked about to get through it. And then finally, on this passage here, it says, "And character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit." So we have endurance, which produces character, which produces hope. Hope is not, in the Christian sense, it's not like, oh, I hope this comes true. It's having hope. And I talked about this a couple days ago. Hope is having faith. It's more of a faith issue than a hope, I pray, I cross my fingers type thing. Hope is, to Christians, is knowing that we serve a wonderful Lord, serve a God who loves us enough to take care of us, even if it doesn't look like it. Because a lot of times when we're facing trials, the world will look at us and say, well, if you have this wonderful, omniscient God, then what's going to happen? Why are you going through all these trials? We have to show it through our endurance, our character, and our hope. We have to be able to say to him, because this is all going to pass, and I'm going to grow through it. I always have a saying that an Olympic sprinter or an Olympic athlete, they don't get to where they're at easily. They struggle. They run more than the race. They run harder than the actual race. They lift more weights. They do more than they do during the actual event. And while they're doing that, there's a lot of pain. I remember Marine Corps boot camp, it was like torture, because every minute of the day that we were awake, we were being punished, and we were doing push-ups, sit-ups. We were just doing all kinds of punitive calisthenics. And it was hard. But that day when we graduated and we got to put on our Eagle, Globe, and Anchors on our collars, which were the symbol of the Marine Corps, it showed that we were Marines. We had never been happier. The same thing goes for this. Going through these trials and the stuff that we're going through right now is like a boot camp. It's like a training session. It's like preseason training in a football camp. You're going to go through a lot, but eventually when we stand on that podium and receive our reward for winning through showing our endurance, showing our character, and showing our hope, which are the three things that Romans 5 verses 3 through 5 talk about, that's what the trials that we're facing now produces. It produces endurance, it produces character, and it produces hope. So let's take a look at that and try to be a little more joyful when we're going through this. Kind of like, I know it hurts, but saying to ourselves, you know what? I've gotten through much worse, and the reality is I'm going to come out of this untouched. I'm going to come out of this just a little bit stronger, if not a lot stronger. So when the next thing comes along, I can handle it easier. I can show endurance, I can show character, and I can show hope. So just a little thought. Let's take it for what it is, which is a test, which is a pre-event for the next time so we're stronger. Instead of lifting 10 pounds, we're now able to lift 100. So let's look at what we're going through now with hope, character, and endurance. So I'll let you guys go. I hope this helped you. I hope this lifts your spirits, because that's what we need right now. We need to be helping each other to raise our spirits and to get through this. So I love you. Before I sign off, remember to punch the like button right down there. It's a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you all subscribed in the early phases of this. Right now we're getting up to about 400 subscribers. We need to reach 1,000 subscribers so that we'll be able to be what we call an influencer. So for once, instead of people influencing their YouTube channels, influencing the alcohol world, the demonic world, a lot of people are doing the Muslim world, we will be able to be an influencer for Jesus Christ. If everybody goes ahead and subscribes and likes, it'll make that easier. So that will be your contribution towards Jesus Christ and spreading his word. So anyway, thank you everyone. I love each and every one of you. I wish you the best of days. Remember, endurance, character, and hope in Jesus Christ, and that will get us through everything. C'est la vie. Have a fantastic day. If you need me, just go ahead and email me at Pastor Mike Says, all one word, Pastor Mike Says @gmail.com. Love you. Take care.